Coriole, good place to start. Coriole, where better, because they really are probably the most distinguished winery in Australia as far as Italian grape varieties goes. Sorry, Prezzinis, but they were there just a bit before you. The Prezzinis are fantastic as well. So this is the Coriole Rubato Fiano, which is a reserve Fiano, 19 vintage Coriole McLaren Vale. And this wine is, they've been producing a regular Fiano, which is a little cheaper and a little more straightforward, a little more fruit driven for a while, but this is their reserve Fiano. The word rubato is a musical term, and it means to play freely. In other words, to extemporize or to deviate from the well-trodden path. And I think that's what the Lloyd family of Coriole were getting at with this wine. It's a little bit more exploratory, a little bit more adventurous. It's barrel fermented and it's complex. And there are only 500 bottles made. 500 bottles is not very much. So the wine itself, the variety comes from the southern part of Italy, so Campania. I think they grow a bit of it in Sicily. It's grown in several parts of the southern half of Italy, Fiano, and it's a very well-known variety in Italy, but only recently arrived in Australia. It's one of those varieties that Mark Lloyd tasted when he many travels that he made to Italy, and decided that it would have a future in Australia. Let's have a taste. Nice, bright, straw yellow colour, youthful wine, only a year old. And the nose is nutty. It's got this lovely barrel fermented character, but it's got a creamy yeast leaves derived character, spiciness, stone fruits, hints of lychee, really quite a complex nose and really moreish. It draws you in. Really good intensity, directness, focus, length, good flavour. It's got generosity to it, but it's certainly not overblown like some of the Fianos I've tasted from Italy. It's tight and it's savoury, it's layered and it's lingering. It's got this really mouth-watering, refreshing, appetising kind of after effect, and it really makes you want to eat something. It's a real food wine. A very stylish wine indeed. We scored it 94, which is obviously a very high silver ribbon score, excellent score. It's a top rank wine. It was rated number 2 out of 29 Fianos from that vintage from across Australia. There aren't that many, but 29 we tasted, 2019, so there's quite a few. We would say drink it now and for the next 6 or 7 years to get the best out of it. It's a $50 wine, so that's because it's a reserve wine, but their regular Fiano is much cheaper. Bloody good wine, very, very good wine. Now, what do they recommend that you eat with it? And they're great food and wine people, the Lloyds. They have a restaurant, they have a, they're one of the first people to produce olives and olive oil in McLaren Vale. They're really real foodies. So, of course, this would carry a bit of weight. But Duncan Lloyd, the winemaker, has suggested roast pork with all the trimmings. Very controversial, but I wouldn't doubt it for a minute. They know what they're talking about, the Lloyds. It does have the intensity and the grip and the acidity to go with quite strong flavour. Pork, of course, is not a particularly strong flavour anyway. It depends how you source it, of course, but I think that that's probably a very good suggestion. But I think this would go really well with seafood as well. So fish, shellfish, crustaceans, excellent. So Coriole, marvellous winery, marvellous people. And I find it hard to tip that out, that one.